Hi, I'm Sam Burnett, and welcome to the 4th episode of Trans Ed. So today we are going to be talking about binding. Binding is one of the many ways that trans people, non-binary people, and gender non-conforming people can change their physical appearance in order to feel more comfortable in their body. So binding is a technique used to minimize the appearance of a person's breasts. This means that a person uses some sort of compressing material in order to bind their breasts to their body and create the appearance of a flatter chest. Usually this is done using a binder, which is a sort of compression shirt made out of spandex or nylon. Because of how binders are made out of durable material and wrap around and constrict your torso, they are very notorious for being uncomfortable. And binding is something that does have risks to it, but if it's done carefully and responsibly, it is generally considered to be safe. Binders are not usually sold at stores, but you can get them various places online, such as Underworks or GC2B. I'll be putting some links down in the description with some stores that do sell trustworthy binders. And it's important to note that although cheaper, it's not safe to get binders off of Amazon. Those binders are usually sized incorrectly or are made by vendors that aren't super trustworthy. So here are a few tips on how to bind safely. Number 1, get an actual binder. Binders such as what I described before are specifically designed to be safe and effective. Using other methods such as ace bandages or duct tape or other DIY binding tricks are really not safe. They're extremely uncomfortable and can put you at a high risk of lung problems and injury. And 9 times out of 10, they're not actually going to bind as well as an actual binder will. So it's important to use a real binder. Granted, actual binders do cost money. Personally, the one that I wear, I got at Underworks and it cost $40. So if that's not really a possibility for you, there are binder giveaway programs that I will also be dropping links down to that give away used or new binders for free or relatively cheap. Alternatively, one binding method that I hear recommended often that does seem to be safe is to layer sports bras. If you layer 2, maybe 3 sports bras over each other, it can be pretty uncomfortable, but it is a fairly safe and effective way to bind. Number 2. Only bind for 8 hours at a time. Binding is something that restricts your breathing and compresses your rib cage, so it's important that you don't bind consistently and relentlessly. It's also a good idea to take breaks during those 8 hours, especially if your ribs are feeling achy or it's hard to breathe or you're feeling itchy or maybe numb in some places, because that's when it's really important to listen to your body and to know when it's good to take like a 5-minute break or to maybe quit for the day. Number 3, do not bind while you are sleeping or exercising. I can tell you from experience that doing one of these 2 things will be the death of you. You breathe differently while you're sleeping versus when you're awake, so it can be really uncomfortable to bind during those times. Also, because you don't really move much while you sleep, it causes your ribs to sit in a really funny way that is really painful when you wake up. And exercising while binding is also just a really bad idea, kind of just because, it restricts your body and it restricts your breathing, and breathing is really important when you exercise. So binding while you're working out or doing a lot of physical labor can really negatively affect your breathing, and it can cause you to overheat. And number 4, make sure that you get the right size of binder. Binders are not a one-size-fits-all thing by a long shot. It's important that you get the right size so that it is tight enough to be effective, but it's also not so tight that it could cause injury. And every company that sells binders sizes them in a different way and uses a different sizing chart. So it's important to make sure that you're using the right sizing chart for whatever product it is that you're buying. To use these charts, you may be asked to measure the distance around your chest or to use your cup size. And I know that a lot of people don't really understand how cup sizes work, so also down in the description I will be putting a handy dandy sizing chart that uses fruit comparisons. How fun! So overall, the most important takeaway is to bind safely and to listen to your body. If binding hurts, stop. Take a break. Find a different binder that maybe fits better. I know that the dysphoria relief that binding can bring you is a great feeling, but in the end, it's really not worth having these short and long-term health issues. I have heard stories of people who have had broken ribs or long-term breathing problems, or even just like bruises wrapped around their entire torso. It's really not worth it to bind unsafely. You have to be careful and you have to be responsible. And if you don't trust yourself to be responsible about these things, maybe you can have somebody else who will keep you responsible for them, who will really push you to be safe and careful. Anyway, thank you for watching this episode of Trans Ed. The very next one will be about non-binary genders and how they're kind of a controversial topic, even though they really shouldn't be, which I explained why in the video. So anyway, I hope to see you next time, and thank you for watching.